Hmm? Oh, hey, sweetheart. What's up? You okay? Having trouble sleeping? Yeah, of course. Come here. It's all gonna be okay. You want to tell me about it? Yeah, I know the feeling. Anxiety's a bitch. I'm not sure if it's better or worse when you don't know why you're anxious, but I totally get it. It's that physical feeling in your stomach, yeah? Or your chest. Here, big squeeze. Get it all out. Yeah, squeeze me as hard as you like. I promise I can take it. I feel like you were holding back a little. Come on, really try and squeeze all the air out of my lungs. Yeah. That's more like it. No, don't worry. You didn't hurt me. I'm a big, strong boy. I can take it. I'm totally happy to be your stress toy any old time. What time is it? Honey, that late. Or should I say early? You should have woken me up earlier if you were struggling to get to sleep. I wouldn't have minded. No, babe, I always have time to help you get to sleep if you're struggling. It doesn't matter if it's 10 p.m. or midnight or 4 in the morning. You can always let me know, okay? You sure there's nothing on your mind that's eating away at you? Oh, you think there might actually be something? No, of course not. We don't have to get into it now. That probably makes more sense. I bet it's been tumbling and turning around in your mind for hours. Thinking about it more now and keeping you awake even longer, that's not going to do any good. Yeah, well, whatever it is, I'll help you think it through in the morning if you like. In the meantime, let's do something to get your mind off it. How about we build a house in our imagination? Yeah, I love doing that. I can't believe I haven't done it with you before. It's one of my favourite techniques for taking my mind off things and getting to sleep if I'm struggling. And I'll tell you what, I'll give you a double whammy. I'll stroke your hair while we're doing it. Now, shut your eyes, and I guarantee in 5 or 10 minutes, if you properly immerse yourself, whatever cyclical thoughts are in your head will be gone, and you'll be able to drift off to sleep. So, really picture as vividly as you can what we describe, yeah? And forgive me if I fall asleep myself. I do this all the time. Okay. Hair stroking engaged. Does that feel good? Good. Off we go. Okay. What kind of house should it be? I'm thinking a quaint little cottage. I love doing cottages. Yeah. It's just outside of a small town somewhere at the foot of a hill that makes for really great walking. The nearby town is quite small, but not so small that it counts as a village. It's kind of trendy, but it hasn't been gentrified or anything. It's a nice place to live near to. There's enough going on that it's not boring, but it's still authentic. It's not too urban. You still feel in touch with nature here. Once, this little house probably had a thatched roof. It must have been very pretty, but maybe the current owners decided to replace it with slate. Thatch is quite expensive to maintain after all. It still looks good with a slate roof, though. The walls are made of cob, rendered with plaster, and it's painted... what do you think? What colour should we paint it? I reckon a light blue. The sort you get in a summer sky with really light, wispy clouds. Quite pale. I don't really know the names of specific colours. Now, either side of the front door, they've got 2 hanging baskets filled with flowers that complement that blue. The front garden's tiny, but well looked after. It's surrounded by a really low, unpainted wooden fence that's just there for show. A border of plants just inside the fence, all in bloom. Let's say it's late spring, so everything's flowering. It's looking gorgeous. Maybe there's like a dog toy that's been left outside on the little patch of lawn they have. It's all soggy from recent rain. The people who live here definitely have a dog. And a bird table with a robin on it. Why not? And the people who live here, they take feeding the birds very seriously. They don't just buy any old stuff. They make sure these birds get fully balanced nutrition. This is one of the healthiest looking robins you've ever seen. No, I don't really know what a healthy robin looks like. Just do your best to picture that. How are you liking the exterior so far? You want me to keep going? Is this doing the trick? You already sound sleepy. You're so cute when you're sleepy. Okay, let's carry on. The front door is hardwood, stained quite dark. It opens up onto a short hallway with quite a low ceiling and exposed wooden beams. The hallway leads to a small kitchen with a wooden countertop and a white tiled floor. There's a little wooden table in the corner with two chairs that look like they've been there for quite a long time. On the wall there's an old-fashioned clock ticking away and keeping track of the time. The kitchen is quite warm and inviting overall. It's got a nice, homely kind of feel to it. Oh yeah, it definitely smells of something good. Can you smell that? Maybe there's a slow cooker on the countertop full of some kind of tasty soup or stew that's almost done, ready for when the people who live here get home. And there's a dog bed, of course, in front of a radiator near the little table, perfectly positioned for the dog to scrounge for food when these people are eating. Back out of the kitchen and to the left of the front door as you're coming in, there's a living room. Same quite low ceilings as in the hallway, same exposed wooden beams, stained quite dark. Varnished, maybe. The walls in the living room are painted a pale green. I think there's one called breakfast room green. So, that one. No, that's the one exception to the rule of me not really knowing colour names. I always find that one memorable for some reason. Just got a nice comfy kind of ring to it. Anyway, breakfast room green. That might not even be right, but let's pretend it is. There's a squashy old sofa, definitely second-hand from British Heart Foundation or something. It's a little saggy looking, but probably still comfy. It's a pale sort of beige, sandy colour, and it's covered in loads of comfy pillows and blankets, partly to hide the stains that are definitely there, because it's like 20 years old, partly because, who doesn't like a bunch of cushions and throws? Maybe another armchair in the corner. It doesn't match the sofa, it's completely different, but it still looks really comfy. And that's next to a shelf that has a few books on it, but mostly just ornaments and aesthetic things. Maybe it's got a few books with walking trails or wildlife identification tips. That's what these people are into. There's a fireplace, of course, though it's not an open fire anymore. It might have been at one point, but now it's been replaced with a wood-burning stove. There's a little basket of logs next to it, about half full. The fire's burning gently. They turned it down a little before going out so that it wouldn't burn out completely. It's still nice and warm in here, though. Oh, and there's a cat on the armchair, of course, sleeping in a little circle, basking in the warmth of the little fire. Back out into the hallway, there's a flight of stairs leading up. At the top of the stairs, there's a cramped little landing with no real room for anything, while downstairs, the floor in the hallway and living room were wooden, and the kitchen was tiled. The floor upstairs is thickly carpeted. The carpets are dark grey. Here and there you see little white hairs, presumably from the dog. They must be out walking it at the moment, as it's not anywhere to be seen in the house. The first door at the top of the stairs leads into a small bathroom. It's tiny, but it's cozy, and the smallness just means that it warms up quick, so by the time you get out of the bath, it's not too cold. There's an old cast iron bath painted white, nice and big. At one end, this huge brass mixer tap that also has a shower head attached to it. But the shower head hardly ever gets used. The people who live here definitely bathe rather than shower. They like to take their time over it and indulge. There's a kind of old-fashioned sink and dresser combination on the other side of the bathroom. You know, this room could maybe do with a bit of TLC. Where the other rooms have looked almost deliberately retro, this one just looks a little bit tired. Maybe they're saving up for a bit of a refit. The sink and dresser it's built into look like they might have been around since the 70s or 80s. Definitely showing their age, but it could be worse. It looks like they've started brightening up the space by retiling the walls at some point recently. The tiles are sort of terracotta looking, nice and warm. Back out onto the landing and through the next door along, the master bedroom. They went all out making this room nice and comfy. There's a huge big bed, it's king size. It's a little bit too big for the room, maybe, but it seems they didn't care. It fits, just about. 2 very small side tables either side, and another bed for the dog, obviously, below the footboard. They sleep with their dog for sure. Cute. There's a mid-century dresser, hardwood, stained quite dark again. These people like their space to be kind of dark and cozy, rather than super bright. A mirror on top, and just a bunch of bits and pieces, you know. Half-used perfume, a can of dry shampoo, you know, some combs and hair brushes, all kind of scattered about. They just keep whatever they need regularly on top of there, in no real order. And just next to that dresser, an open-faced wardrobe. No doors, just a bunch of shelves with the fronts open up, and maybe a long mirror. All the clothes are folded neatly and stacked optimally. They really need to make the most of this tiny space. The clothes give you an idea of the people that live here. These all look like vintage or charity shop finds. Kind of drippy, not gonna lie. And if we back out of the main bedroom and open the last door off the landing, what once was probably a smaller bedroom looks like it's been turned into a nursery. The walls are halfway through being painted a pale yellow. They've done all the cutting in around the skirting board and the light switch and stuff. There's just the rolling left to do. There's a half-assembled cot in the corner. Looks like they kind of gave up on that. A few toys and things lying around, some second-hand, some still sealed in the packaging. Maybe some gifts from grandparents or something. And that's the little house. Did that do the trick? Well, seems so, seeing as I didn't get an answer. Good night, my love. Sleep well. Please don't snore too much.